This is day 510 and 511 of becoming an international rap icon. I did not really do much on day 510. I hit work and then honestly I should have probably done something, but I was really tired coming home and so I did not do anything. Um, I think I'm gonna start adding a punishment for all of the days that I don't work during the week that I don't plan. I feel like that are kind of within my control. Like I think I'm gonna do since I'm doing larger content on Sundays and just a deeper analysis of where I am as an artist. I think that I'll do a mile run for every day that I missed on Sundays, and so we'll see how that goes. But yeah. Day 511 I think went really well. I think I'm getting these days right. I know I misspoke I think on one of these, but today was all about content. I told myself that I've been procrastinating on content, and so that I'm gonna start working on making some. I went to this space. I filmed a decent amount of stuff, and I came up I think with four video ideas that I executed on. One of which is maybe not shot the best, but I think conceptually it works really well, and so I'm very proud about that. But I guess there's a couple of things that I learned today. So I was probably the guy, and I think I've spoke about this before. There's a guy. He's you can leave with 20 pieces of content in 3 hours, and I feel like maybe you can do that once you're experienced and you know exactly what you're trying to make. But I am not at that point at all. The goal leaving that place today was to leave with at least enough shooting material to make 14 pieces of content, and we left with four, and we were there for 4 or 5 hours. I A lot of that I think comes from the fact that I'm just not really prepared, and that's because I really just wanted to start making something. But I think going forward, during content weeks, I'm going to be a lot more prepared in the sense that I'll spend a lot of the week storyboarding and writing, so I know what kind of content I want to make going in, and then I can just kind of execute off of that, and I'll have a much better idea of the different shots that I want to make, different angles, different lighting, and how I kind of want to go in editing. Speaking of editing, I have not touched editing at all yet. I just got done filming today, and I have historically the start of this channel was about how much I hated Premiere Pro, and it was a whole thing. And so I am very curious to know how much I'm gonna want to not touch this when I start editing tomorrow, and maybe doing some more filming and coming up with some more ideas, but we will see. If the remainder of this week is content week and next week is music week, I'm not 100% convinced that I'll be able to get 14 pieces of content out. And so I think what I'll do is I'll spread it out over the course of 2 or 3 days a week, instead of all 7 days of the week. So we'll see how that goes. But I am very curious to see what ends up becoming my schedule. I know the goal was I set the goal of I want to be able to have content out for at least every other day. And honestly, I think that works as a barometer for me, instead of trying to shoot for 100%. I know aim for the stars, shoot for the moon, or yeah, shoot for the stars, hit the moon, something like that. And so I don't want to set the bar too low, but just at the same time, I think I'm using certain accounts as references for where I need to be with my content, right? And I think that are kind of in similar spaces that I am, even if the market's a little different. My best example right now, I feel or the best two blueprints I can use are probably the Paradox Band and Whatmore. I feel Whatmore has really great content strategy, in where they have a lot of high quality posting, but I don't feel they're not posting nearly as much as every day. But I also can't verify what they were doing earlier, because a lot of their stuff is gone, at least prior to, I want to say, early 2025. So I can't even gauge what it looked like when they were really on the come up. I remember the Paradox. Fun fact: I actually met them in person at the Piedmont Park skate park, which was or Old Fourth Ward skate park rather, which was a really cool experience. and I feel like they had a lot more of a traditional approach where like you're just kind of getting some filming, and like as like you can afford to like shoot a whole bunch of volume at once, like, and even if it's not the highest quality content, because like I feel like for them specifically, their music and their niche is like like it's so like in retrospect it's really obvious, right, in the sense like you have this like black pop punk band that's trying to revive a sound from like the 2000s, like where it's like you're not trying to be a rapper, and that's not that, and that's something that I've seen in person. Like I went to concerts like for random niggas that have like 5 monthly listeners, and like you'll have a whole crowd moving because it's just like a really pop punk sound. I feel like that would be really popular for people to pursue, like, and that's evident by the paradox. But I digress. I think the point that I'm trying to make is I struggle to decide what kind of content I may want to make and how frequently I want to put it out, because um for some reason I get the feeling that even if I made like the best content like all of the time, I just feel like making it every day is not like a good idea. I think a great frame of reference I'll use after this video is Luca Maxim, because I feel like he has really high volume, and I feel like he has a great conversion rate. He makes clothes and it's not music, but I feel like it translate. Actually, no, he also makes music. Fuck yeah, I think Luca Maxim would probably be a great example of what I'm trying to accomplish here. So I think after this, I'm going to check out his page for research. That's another thing I really want to clarify, is that I feel like most of my content week is not really going to be geared towards content at all. I think like most of the content week is going to be geared towards making my process a lot more efficient, logistical things, and just doing research, market research, and trying to figure out like who my audience is, like where do I blend in, like analyzing the numbers, all of that things, like all of those things. Yeah, I feel like me, and this is like way down the road, but just like from what I'm gathering right now, like I'm if during a content week I've already I'm already actively releasing stuff because I worked on it 2 weeks ago, or like a week and a half ago, then like I can spend that whole week. Well, I have to spend it making more content, but I can spend a lot of that time, if I have extra time after storyboarding, um, to just do a bunch of research and like really find my brand and like just market myself, like sending emails to like executives and other things. I think that that would be a great use of my time once I get there. Also, I've come to the conclusion that not the album, Outside is going to drop September 1st. I feel like we are 5, 6, 30 days in September, April, June, and November. We are like 7 days away from August 1st. So that gives me 7 days to prepare for a 30-day release cycle, and I feel like I'm making enough content to cover that, and that'll give me enough time to really like finalize what my Instagram and my social media strategy is going to be like, and maybe start like automating posting. And so I think that'll be nice. But yeah, I basically worked on content for 4 or 5 hours today. It was a solid time, and it was cool. A couple of other things is that I completely forgot how much I enjoyed making content. Like I remember when I was really young, I wanted to like do a whole bunch of like special effects and After Effects and like work for movie studios, and that was like before that was cool. Like we're talking like, what years was I in middle school? Like 2011 to 2013. So like before like Corridor Digital was like still really popular, but like I remember days like Ren on Corridor Digital like was posting regularly on his main channel with After Effects tutorials, and that's like some fucking elite ball knowledge, like way before like that was like really a thing, and way before it got super fucking easy, because like nowadays we live in a world where you can just kind of put effect templates in CapCut and do all this other shit, and like that didn't exist. Like you had to make all of that shit manually. You had to use fucking this one app from the App Store where you could like put explosions in a video and like hope it looked like relatively nice, and a bunch of other things. But that's a side tangent. The point is that I forgot how much I actually enjoyed doing this and like making short film-esque content, and I think that this is going to be a great opportunity for me to really fall in love with that again and just like kind of flex that muscle in a way that I have not done in probably last time I probably did something like this was like 2018 maybe. So it's been like 8 years, and I think it's really exciting. Um, what else? I made the content today. Oh yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about was my buddy Arez. I sent him outside. I started working on the outro a little bit because I felt like there was a lot of empty space at the end of the record, and I sent it to him, and he sends me like this beautiful rendition of like what he thinks the outro should be, and I think it's incredible. I think it's really messy, but it has a lot of great ideas that I think I'm gonna probably implement in the final release of that track, and that's super awesome. And I guess on that last point, it's like having a bunch of other friends like who are also musicians is really like just super useful. Like this is the type of shit that they talk about where it's like net worth is your net worth, because like just being able to bounce around ideas in that way like is it's indispensable. Wouldn't really trade it for the world. And so shout out to him, and also shout out to my buddy Chris Miller, who like also like is a fucking Ableton god who's like really helpful in this type of way, like when I call him. But yeah, it feels great just kind of being trying to like start getting back on the wagon, and we had a great content day today. um I am worried a little bit about how fast it's going to take me to like work on content, but I feel like going forward it's going to be easier because we'll be a lot more like organized, and we'll have like ideas storyboarded, and it'll like we'll be a lot more efficient in that way. But yeah, that was day I think 510 and 511, and it feels great. Peace. Oh, actually, I think last thing. I spoke about that. I don't know if I talked about this, but I had an idea where I wanted the weeks to start on Saturday and Sunday. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think we might make that adjustment later, but as it stands right now, the rest of this week is still going to be used for content. So the week is going to start on Monday. Yeah. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, just like a little bit of scheduling. But overall, we had a great content day today. We will have a bunch of editing to do, and maybe some more like content generation tomorrow. So we will see. But it was cool, man. So yeah, this has been day 510 and 11, and I will see you guys later.